Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kirsten here from Kirsten Foss Coaching for a Thursday spa business break where I'm talking about all the stuff that happens in your spa business and giving you some tips and strategies to help you move through any of those obstacles. So today's Facebook Live topic has to do with business stagnation. You know, that time when you're just feeling like nothing that, the ideas that you have for your business growth initiatives don't really seem to pan out. Every time you sit down to work on any of those projects, you just feel overwhelmed, or you just don't feel inspired, or you just can't get your head in the game. Maybe you are extremely busy working in your business. Maybe you are a solo spa owner who's chief cook and bottle washer and literally running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Maybe you are just starting out on your business and you're just feeling stuck and you really kind of don't know what your next step should be. Either way, when you get into this place, really where you're in is feeling completely overwhelmed. And we all have seen this in the spa industry, in our Facebook groups, and it's a really, really crummy place to be in, because once we're feeling overwhelmed, then our inner critic loves to have a heyday with that. And all of a sudden we've got some mental conversation, some mental clutter happening about, maybe am I not cut out for this? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I'm in the wrong field. Maybe, it's all about maybe I'm not cut out for this. All has to do with worthiness. And really the fact of the matter is there's probably some other things going on. So I want to help you today by giving you some 3 little strategies that I use when I'm feeling this way, because I'm not, we're all gonna feel overwhelmed in our business, especially if we are trying to do something innovative, or we've got ideas for growth, because what got us here isn't going to get us there. So if we want to hit the next level with our business, it means that we're going to be challenged with a lot of mindsets. We're going to be challenged with belief systems that we have, some old crummy belief systems about our worthiness. Those are going to show up. And when we're in that place of overwhelm, I've been there plenty of times. This is why I've come up with 3 little tips that I wanted to share with you, because no one is, if you're constantly leaning into your business and hungry for success, then you always will come up against times in your career where you're going to feel overwhelmed, where you're going to feel really stuck. So it doesn't matter whether you're just first starting out and you're a total newbie, or you've been doing this and you're on your second or third location that you're opening. The fact of the matter is that every time we need to up level, we are going to be challenged with some things that are going to overwhelm us. So the first thing I want you to consider when you're feeling overwhelmed, because when we're overwhelmed, we get this decision paralysis, right? And then doing anything creative, or trying to work within our leadership, or trying to come up with great ideas is just not going to work. It's not, you're not in a place that is fertile for creativity and growth and moving forward. So the first thing I want you to do is to take stock of what you're doing in your business and in your personal life. And I'm talking about what are the actual things that you're doing? What are the tasks that you're doing in your business? A lot of times I'm noticing that spa owners are doing way too much in their business. They're working in their business too much. Sometimes this has to do with owners that are still in the treatment room and they're fully booked. And then they're trying to figure out how they're going to have time to work on their admin and their growth initiatives. Maybe you have staff and you're managing them, but you've just got a lot on the go. Whatever it is, you need to take stock of what is the list of all my tasks, because I guarantee you at work, there's going to be tasks on there that you're doing that you probably shouldn't be doing. And these kinds of tasks are going to be low-level tasks that you should be delegating. I know this is not new information for you, but I'm going to keep beating the drum about delegation because it's one of those pieces in this industry that is a constant piece of friction. One of the reasons why we get stuck with oh, I'll just do it myself, is because most of us came up the ranks as service providers, and we're very much, our heads and mindsets are very much into the details. We're used to taking care of all the details, but when you are when you need to step out of service provider mode and step into entrepreneurial mode, you can't be thinking about the details. That's big picture stuff. So you need to be able to have time to think about big picture stuff. So if you are constantly working in your business, whether it's in the treatment room or whether you're managing a team, it's critical that you create time for yourself to be able to even just think, right? There was I'm going to actually post a really great article in here. It's not spa specific, but it's business specific, and it's about Warren Buffett. He's a financial kind of guru, and he makes time every single day to think. We need time to think. If we're constantly busy running around like a crazy person, when does creativity have any time to foster? All right, there's no nurturing soil for that to grow. I don't know if any of you have read Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic. She talks about creativity in a really interesting way, that creativity actually will come visit you with ideas. But if you are not able to take the time, or can't take the time, or don't want to take the time to allow the fertile ground of your creativity to kind of pick that up and start nurturing it, that idea will move on. Great book if you're interested in that topic about creativity and fostering that. So there may be parts in your personal life that are draining you. So this is what I'm getting at. Take stock of what is draining you in your life, business and personal. If you have your business and you are responsible for everything at home, for cooking, cleaning, getting kids to activities, and your kids are capable and old enough to do some chores at home, there's some opportunity to share the load, and that is okay. That should be okay. You cannot do it all. It's impossible. Something's got to give, and likely it will be something in your business. Now, if your priority, if you've got little kids, or, if your personal priorities are to be home, to make sure you're there for kids' activities, to take them to every game, that's okay too. But you're just going to have to make peace with the fact that you're probably not going to be able to grow as quickly in your business as if you didn't have that responsibility. I've been there, done that. My kids are now 16, 18, and 20, and I'm finally seeing the spaciousness that the age is at now for myself. I finally have more time and more I have more time and mental bandwidth to think about my own career. So it's a struggle for any kind of entrepreneur with a family, is finding that right balance that works for you. But if you're doing it all at work and you're doing it all at home, no wonder you are full up and have you just can't seem to make your business move forward. You've got that decision paralysis, you've got the perfection paralysis, you've got the overwhelm going, and those all sabotage your success. The second point I want to make for this, about this, is that once you've taken stock of all the things that you're doing and that you're responsible for, I'd like you to look at what can be delegated. All right. Maybe that means you're not delegating it right away, but I want you just to think about it. What could be delegating? Okay. The second one I have for you is to make, if you're overwhelmed, to make a plan for radical self-care. Honestly, I find it completely ironic that we are in the business of giving and nurturing others, but we are often completely willing to do that at the expense of our own selves. And I know you know this logically, but you cannot fill from an empty cup. So that is why my own plan is radical self-care, and I mean big time radical. I've gone through this process enough to know that, once I'm overwhelmed, it's like, okay, I obviously haven't been keeping up with my self-care, and now I got to get serious about it and stay committed to it. I posted something in Spa Business Mastery, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, about how do you handle your overwhelm. And there's lots of funny little comments in there, but I did post that, I take radical self-care very seriously. I make sure that I'm saying no to things that are depleting me. I'm saying yes to the things that fill me up. I'm making time to do things that fill me up. Sorry, I've got a couple of texts coming in here. I make time for things that I know fill me up. I go to my naturopath and, book a B12 shot or get an IV therapy. I meditate. I get back to meditation because when I'm overwhelmed, that's usually means that I've been slacking off on my self-care. So that means meditation gets back on the docket. And I don't mean like sitting for an hour meditating. I can't do that. My meditation, I try to do it every day at the beginning of my day, and it's literally 5 minutes, 7 minutes at the most. It's just a way for me to get grounded and focused on my purpose, and also just to add a little bit of prayer in there just to ask for help and support. Never hurts. But radical self-care and keeping it sacred. So this might be kind of hard if you're used to saying yes to everybody, to say no to them because it means saying yes for yourself, but it is so, so worth it. If you're emotionally depleted, how do you expect yourself to keep, producing? It's just unrealistic. So part of this has to do with managing your own expectations. When you're overwhelmed, we have very high expectations of ourselves and get really upset that we're not meeting these goals that we should be meeting. So if you're emotionally depleted, you absolutely need radical self-care. Now, that doesn't mean that you keep up with radical self-care the whole time. Maybe it does, but a lot of times it just means that you just got to get back into it, back on track, back committed to yourself. And then you can kind of let it taper off a little bit and just have that maintenance self-care that you need. All right, the last tip I have for you, if you are feeling overwhelmed and you're in decision paralysis with your business, and that means that it's stagnating, has to do with revisiting your values and your why. One of the first things I do when I work with my private clients is that I have them do a values exercise. And it's because most of them are coming to me overwhelmed. And what I've noticed since I've started including this exercise into my program is that it very quickly clarifies for them what is the deeper purpose of their business. And it reconnects them back to why they do what they do. Once you're reconnected with your personal values, which are very similar to your business values, and your why, all of a sudden it's a little easier to say no to those things that are depleting you. It's easier. And once you start doing that, you start feeling a little bit more full. And once you're feeling more full, it's even easier to say yes to yourself for self-care too. So those are my 3 tips for you if you are feeling overwhelmed, in decision paralysis, and not seeing any of the growth that you've been hoping for. And it could be that you've been in this place for months. It could be you've been in this place for a year. It could be that you've been in this place for a couple of years. Not uncommon. Half the battle is recognizing what is going on. If your business is stagnating and you've got decision paralysis, you can't make any decisions about your brand or your marketing or any kind of features or anything like that, then you need to try one of these 3 steps. Take stock of what's depleting you and what's filling you up. And then delegate those things that you can delegate, those lower level tasks, because I guarantee you can make more money in your spa, in your zone of genius, doing what you need to do than cleaning bathrooms or cleaning floors or cashing people out. And then finally, make a plan for radical self-care, and then finally revisit your why and your core values. So I hope that helping you if you happen to be in that place of feeling overwhelmed and just kind of stuck in your business. We all get there. Don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's just part of being human. And part of being human is experiencing the bad, because we wouldn't know what the good was if we didn't have anything to compare it to. Life is about duality. That's unfortunately for us humans, that's just how we learn. And your business will be the best life coach that you could ever have or want or pay for. Sometimes it can seem like an expensive life coach. But if you're able to at least kind of separate yourself from the, what's happening in your business, that it's happening for you to learn, not that it's happening to you. It all of a sudden gives a wonderful perspective to open up some space for you to make some changes as far as creativity and growth in your business. So if I'm hitting a big button for you, then and you want to talk more about this, then absolutely, you can send me a direct message, or you can comment in the post here, in the thread. If you want to have a conversation about it, I'm happy to do that too. So I'm back here next Thursday for another spa business break and talking about your spa business. Thanks for joining me. See you next week.